What's up, y'all? I'm still out here at the range, as you can see back behind me on this bright sunny day. It's been a fantastic day as far as weather to do some testing out here. Low 70s right now for the temp. We only supposed to hit the mid to high 70s. No humidity at all, so it's been a great day out here. Kind of a mixed bag on the testing so far though. Hopefully we're gonna end it out with some fairly decent 10 mil. So we got the jelly contraption ready to go for one more test with a couple of chronos and 2 blocks of gel. Now I have done a couple of tests like I mentioned. Most of it stayed at the back, a little bit of a straggler right there, but we should be doing everything we need to do by the time we hit there, if we do hit there. Heavy clothing barrier up front, of course, with a layer of denim, fleece, and 2 layers of cotton t-shirt. And as y'all can see, what we got for this one is some more of that Remington Golden Saber. This time it's in 10 mil. I didn't realize I had never tested this stuff. You know, I've tested the 45s here recently. The standard and plus P of the 45 did really good in this Golden Saber, so I figured we might as well try this out. Now I can tell you already, y'all know how I am about my 10 mil. This stuff is too weak for 10 mil for me. I want my 10 mil to be strong stuff, or there ain't no sense in carrying it. But I realize some of y'all, for whatever the reason, like to carry around this weak 10 mil. It makes you feel better or whatever. So I figure I might as well grab it and test it out and see how it does. Now it's saying 1160 feet per second at the muzzle. I didn't see any kind of test barrel listed for that, so no telling what it is. Here's a look at your cartridge. They got the nice nickel plated case on it with that brass jacketed projectile. This is the non-bonded version. I'm sure I'm still gonna get tons of people down there. It says BJHP, that means bonded jacketed. No, that means brass jacketed HP, y'all. If it's bonded, they will clearly tell you that it's bonded on the box. This is the non-bonded version of Golden Saber. Now, of course, as always, I'm gonna send them out of a couple of different barrel lengths here. For the long one, we've got the G20 with the roughly 4.6 inch barrel. And then for my shorty, this is my personal EDC, the G29 with a 3.8 inch. So hopefully, even though this is a weak 10 millimeter, in my opinion, it'll still give us some decent performance in the gel. Let's get everything set up and see if this is some precious metal or just some more fool's gold. All right, let's see what kind of numbers we get out of this stuff. I'm gonna do a 5-round average from each barrel length. Start with this G20 first. Now you're gonna see multiple readings from this radar. The large numbers right here at the muzzle, and then you've got 5 across the bottom. The first one there is set for 3 yards, which is roughly where the gel is here at 10 feet. And then the others are set for 10, 15, 25, and 50 yards. Now remember, they're saying 1160 on the box with this stuff. Didn't have any barrel length. I'm assuming that's probably out of a 5 inch or better. So I expect to fall a little short right here. Let's see what happens. 1087. Good grief. 1101. 1095. 1088. And 1078. So we definitely ain't got no 24 karat magic in the air with this gold. Let's check out the average. All right, so our 5-round average right there, unfortunately, sub 1100. We had a 1095 round average, a 23 extreme spread with an 8.7 standard deviation. So nice consistency. I got to give it credit there. And at 1090, we had one, 1101. That was our high, 1100. I feel like it's still going to do what it's supposed to do, but y'all know good and well, those y'all who are honest about it, that ain't real 10 mil velocity. But let's get it reset and see how much we lose out to 29. All right, let's see what this 29 does. Hopefully we don't lose a whole lot off of that 1100, because that don't bode very well when you get real low down there. Not bad recoil at all on this stuff, I will say that. 1046, 1042, 1039, 1025, and 1048. So nice consistency again. Let's check out the average. All right, once again, definitely weaker than I personally want to see. We had a 5-round average there of 1040, extreme spread of 24 with a 9.2 standard deviation. So again, consistent stuff right here, but 1040, I mean, we've met and exceeded that on multiple 45 ACP rounds lately. So that right there is just weak for 10 mil. There's just no getting around it. But 1040 right here, and if you remember out of the the 20. It was 1,090, so you only talk about 50 FPS difference between them. That makes sense. 180 grain, 10 mil. There's usually not a big difference from the 20 and the 29. All that being said, I still think both of these are going to do a really good job in the gel just based on what that 45 has done. But let's get this stuff reset. Y'all know what time it is. All right, y'all, it's 10 karat jelly time. We'll put one from each barrel length into the gel, starting with this 20 first. Again, I think both of these are going to give us some good performance here in the gel. It's just not up to speed for 10 mil for me. All right, that should have been perfectly placed. Let me go see what I got. All right, that's looking really nice down there. One thing I can kind of gather from these Golden Saber tests is this Golden Saber is actually a pretty good projectile when it's pushed fast enough. So let's see what this 29 does. I figure it's gonna give us some good stuff too after seeing that. All right, that's another perfectly placed one. Let's go check these things out. All right, let's check out what we got down here. This is some really nice performance from these. I mean, very nice performance. Pretty much textbook, exactly what I would personally want to see, minus the little bit of extra energy. And I know people are going to say, well, if it works perfectly, why do you want more energy? Why not? That's my reply. Why not? If I can get more for less cost, why in the heck wouldn't I get more? It doesn't make any sense to me personally why you wouldn't go for more for less if you can get it. But anyway, let's check these things out. On the top, that was from the 20, the bottom from the 29. Both of these things look nearly identical. I've been saying that a lot lately, and I'm really glad that I have been, because I really personally like to see that. I like to see getting the same performance from multiple barrel lengths, because you don't have to guess about what you're going to get. These right here are close in velocity. I mean, they're nearly identical in their performance here in the gel as far as disruption, expansion, and penetration. So this is some really good performance stuff. So anyway, on the top, that was the 20. You can see it comes in here, big time energy transfer, really nice disruption. All the way through this block, you're getting that nice disruption and transfer. It stops right at the edge here. Both of these got little straggly wisps that are actually touching the face of that second block. So you got 16 inches exactly on both of these rounds, and some fantastic expansion to go along with it. And then of course, down on the bottom, that's the one from the 29. Like I just said, fantastic performance, very nice energy transfer, very nice disruption all the way through this block here. This one again touches that front face, so 16 inches, and looks like nearly the same excellent expansion from both of these. And then I came around here to measure how far they went, but there's absolutely no need, because like I've already said, they're both touching the face of this second block, so both of them right at 16 inches. And then here's your close look. Again, nearly identical performance from these two rounds. Very nice. I mean, both of them all the way through this first block, and there you can see them with some fantastic expansion to go with that perfect penetration. From the top view, it's pretty much the same story. You can see there, I mean, very nice disruption. These again are some really nice performing Golden Sabers. All right, let's check out these projectiles here. More of the same story. They look nearly identical. This one right here is from the G20, this one from the 29. Now, if you look really close and do a little bit of nitpicking, you could probably convince yourself that there's a little more expansion on this one, and there probably is, even just feeling the divot. There's definitely just a tiny bit more on this, and you can actually probably see that, but that's negligible. That means absolutely nothing, because these things are near perfect, and they both expanded absolutely perfectly. And as you can see here, no jacket core separation. Now, I could probably, well, I was gonna say I might could stick something under there and pry that out, but no, I don't think so. That stuff's pretty hard in there. So even the non-bonded version here, very nice weight retention. Well, let's get some numbers on them and see what that's looking like. I'll be surprised if they lost anything. They started at 180 and this one's at 180.6. So absolutely no loss there. This one from the 29 is at 180.2. So absolutely no material loss even from those non-bonded Golden Sabers. And then for the expansion size, it's probably going to be very, very similar here. This one from the 20, you got 737 and 695, so very, very nice even expansion there. And this one from the 29, you got 715 and 686. So once again, nearly identical expansion size, nearly identical weight, just pretty much identical performance across the board for these 10 mil Golden Sabers. So there you go, y'all, the Remington non-bonded brass jacketed Golden Saber 10 mil 180 grain. Very, very nice performance from these right here. Now, again, I'm saying all this with velocity and energy aside because in my opinion, there are just better rounds. There are just better rounds than this. It's just a fact. Numbers don't lie. More energy, more velocity equals more better in my opinion, and nobody's ever gonna convince me any different. All right, y'all, it's been a great day of testing out here, so I'm gonna call it right there with this one and get things ready for another batch. I can't really say I'm surprised by this one right here. I figured we were going to get some good performance again, just based on the 45 that I've tested recently, and I figured they were going to be weaker than I want. Obviously, the box already is weaker than I want, but I figured we were still going to fall short of that, and as y'all saw, we did. Now, once again, like I always try to make clear, there is absolutely no doubt in my mind, if you did your job and put these things in the right place and they got to the right spot, they would definitely get the job done. But like I said, I can get better and stronger for less cost. So I personally don't see the need for weak 10 mil ammo across the board. I don't see any need for this stuff unless there's really only one circumstance that I would be okay with somebody running 10 mil. I mean, it ain't up to me, don't get me wrong, but as far as me accepting an excuse for weak 10 mil would be if the only tool you have is 10 mil and that recoil, strong, heavy 10 mil recoil is either more than you can handle or more than you want to handle on a regular basis. If you've got more than a 10 mil and you're buying weak 10 mil, you're doing yourself a disservice. That's all there is to it. But let me know what y'all think about it down in the comments. What do you think about the performance you saw from this Golden Saber, and how do you feel about weak 10 mil? I know most people have already made their opinion known, but go ahead and let me know down in the comments. What do you think about weaker than full power 10 mil? A quick reminder again, if you're doing any kind of shopping, make sure you hit up those affiliate links I've got in the video description. Anything you pick up after checking those links out helps the channel, so I really do appreciate that. Big thanks as always to all my Range Gang members and every single one of y'all for supporting the channel. I've got plenty more really good stuff on the agenda, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you soon.